Welcome to this week's Connect the Dots, an industry intelligence production. I'm your host, Alec Gaylord. Today's topic, make like a tree and leave. Or, make like a dead tree and leave potential. That's right. Dead trees have living potential locked inside their dead wood, and we've found new ways to get it out and put it to use in our lumber-hungry world. Often, nails are hammered into wood. But what if the nails themselves were also made of wood? Welcome to the world of lignolock wooden nails, made by Austrian hardware company Beck. Not to be confused with the German beer brand, which involves a completely different form of getting hammered. In August 2020, the German Institute for Construction Engineering issued a permit to Beck certifying that the lignolock wooden nails are suitable for connecting load-bearing timbers. Company CEO Christian Beck describes the technical approval from the Institute as a confirmation that a wooden nail is not a crazy abstract idea. Actually, the concept seems well thought out by Beck, who chose beechwood as the material to make lignolock so that the wooden nails would come out just as hard as aluminum nails. Beck says planks and panels, whether they're made of solid timber or gypsum fiber, can be attached using lignolock wooden nails. Now, I love wood paneling as much as the next guy who lives in a basement from the 70s, but how much wood is too much? Well, according to Beck, there can never be too much. Apparently, lignolock can also be used to produce bracing and load-bearing diaphragm walls on construction sites. Beck says, the recent certification represents the first major step out of the niche towards the mass market. Now, subsequent steps are still to come, but one day, when you walk into a wooden skyscraper, remember, Beck nailed it. Crossing the Atlantic, back in North America, Montreal sounds like a tree's favorite city in Canada, but researchers at the University of Toronto may be on course to change that. The Toronto scientists are transforming forest biomass and waste into products that are currently made with fossil fuels. With a focus on tree bark, Professor Ning Yan says, quote, right now, bark is typically burned as a low-grade fuel in order to generate energy. But from an engineering perspective, it contains all kinds of unextracted value. End quote. For instance, biomass and forest waste can be used to make BPA-free epoxy resins. Currently, epoxy resins are widely used to make adhesives, flooring, and airplane composites. But conventional epoxy resins contain BPA, which can be toxic. And Professor Yan is solving this problem by using tree bark. Like the traditional product, bark-derived epoxy resin can be mixed with a hardener to create an industrial-strength adhesive. However, Yan admits that there are still some challenges with respect to performance, especially in terms of strength. Yan also says they haven't yet figured out how to scale up the chemical processes in his lab for industrial implementation. But I, for one, am going to have my fingers crossed that Professor Yan will overcome these hurdles soon. Branching out to New Zealand, let's visit the lab of Dr. Chi-Liang Fu at a forest research institute called Scion in Christchurch. Dr. Fu is engaging in some trippy, mind-bending research. In his lab, he is converting natural wood into flexible, water-repellent films that glow in different colors. The research may one day lead to more alternatives to glass and plastic used in lighting and artful displays. But scientists in the past already used cellulose nanofibers to make films that reflect and scatter light. So, what makes Dr. Fu's research different? Apparently, the new material is stronger than previous optical films made out of cellulose nanofibers. As Dr. Yulin Dang, a Georgia Tech chemist, explained, quote, the main advantage of this approach is to keep the original alignment of cellulose fibers in wood, so the thin film is stronger, end quote. Dr. Fu's team starts with balsa wood and then soaks it successively in sodium chlorite and sodium hydroxide solutions to strip out the rigid lignin. Dr. Fu says he previously used this technique to make flexible wood-based electronics. Wait, those exist? Well, I certainly don't remember owning an iPod that could give me splinters. Anyways, to get it glowing, Dr. Fu then soaks the lignin-free wood in a solution of so-called quantum dots, which are nanoparticles made of inorganic chemicals. I should mention that Dr. Fu and his team are also trying to make bio-based quantum dots in their laboratory. Let's wish them good luck, because that would make the glowing wood film non-toxic and fully biodegradable. And for the fiscally conservative number crunchers, here's the best part. Dr. Fu says his bio-based quantum dots may even cut costs. Jetting from the South Pacific back to our stateside roots, remember PepsiCo's launch of the world's first biodegradable potato chip bag a few years ago? It showed the company's ambition to create a world free of plastic waste. Well, that dream is one step closer to becoming reality, because PepsiCo also just created the world's first fully recyclable, PET-free paper bottle made from sustainably sourced pulp. The bottle, set to debut on store shelves soon, is the brainchild of spirit manufacturer Diageo and venture investor Pilot Light. Ron Kahn, a PepsiCo senior executive, explains how their paper bottle is made. Quote, "When it is still at the pulp stage with the wood fiber, natural food-grade additives are mixed in to give moisture resistance to the pulp material. When the pulp dries, a coating is applied so that when you have a liquid in the material, you won't be able to tell it is paper in terms of the drinking experience." End quote. Well, I've got to say, that's a good thing, because, as we know from using a paper straw, nothing interrupts a drinking experience like a sappy aftertaste. Well, that's all for today's biotechnology tour. For Industry Intelligence, I'm Alec Gaylord, reminding you that everything you see and touch contains more potential than you realize. Please visit our website at www.industryintel.com and check out our blog and podcast for more cool ideas. Have a great day, and keep the dots connected.